Still with the traditional smart straps that we've had on the SubZero. I think more people that use them are, not going back to traditional strapping.
Other brands are still messing around with it. If you look at like Lundquist's Bauer pad, he does it all Velcro base, even though it's not offered at the retail option yet. You got the original smart strap. This is already proven, it's tested. We've had maybe 2 or 3 replacements on straps in 2 years now.
We've thinned out the T from the SubZero. That was kind of a complaint. There was a love-hate for it. It seemed like people either really loved it or they just didn't like it. So we kind of went in between. It's still a little bit beefier and thicker, but it's not quite as thick as the original SubZero.
Still 3 here, and then we've gone to a pretty rigid 1 flex in the thigh. So the pad is very rigid up top and pretty flexible down low.
Again, we went with the accordion finger pad on the 3-finger side. It fits better, it's more comfortable. Now we have the new SubZero 2 arm and body. It's basically a color change and a material change. People like them. They're fairly mobile right out of the box. The air knit material that we use as opposed to the nylon does dry out quicker. It has a little stretch to it, so it's more flexible right off the bat.
Later, Malcolm Simban might be here, and he's just switching out of the CCMs. And that's what he said. He's like, it's so amazing how I can have my leg in there so tight, yet the pad is still going to rotate so well on my leg, and it's going to feel like a part of me.
And then on the inside, we've gone with the same floating cuff that was in the genetic. We found that the no-slip grip material just really held onto your hand, and there was a shame not to have it in every glove.
So what he's talking about is the carry price strapping. What Pricer does is bring this across, and that allows the knee to be more open. So this is higher up now, so it allows that to be done much easier and more effectively. And we use the double elastic now, so it holds better and it's a little bit more durable.
The E-foam chassis that the first SubZero was built with, so it's still, ridiculously light. It's going to be the lightest pad, that's out there.
We've also put a different cuff here that flares back a little bit to give more range of motion and change the angle of the hand positioning a little more comfortably.
A molded leg channel with these molded components just to allow more airflow between the pad and your leg.
Still has the high density foam on the outside with the 1984 logo and the added graphics on the back side.
We widened out this knee block. It's still NHL legal. We had to trim down the outer knee flare and the inside of the knee cradle.
Is a super slide. With the design of how we do our pads, more and more every year we hear, oh, I move so much better laterally in these pads. I've been having a lot of pro guys try them in the summer coming out of Reebok and everything else. Like, man, I don't know how you do it, but I'm getting way faster. They're like, we have to actually adapt to, I'm overcompensating now because I'm too quick. I'm going across too fast that I'm almost beating the puck to them. And this year we also took away a cut. There used to be another indent here in stitch lines, and now that it's even smoother surface, it's going to move even better than our previous model pads.
We did widen out the knee cradle as well slightly, just for the the knee pads everybody seems to be wearing these days.
So I can get real wide, and with this, I still have no issues. And then when you go down to the butterfly, it's all stable and it locks to the ice really, really well. Since we don't have the straps, we free up this whole area right here. So then you could lock up against the post. All this extra material here, you can't do that. This is hitting the post, and you're not making contact with the side of the net. And so many goals get scored on like that. Especially
the sidewall still has full coverage. It's attached to the face, and you have the full measurement from top to bottom. That's NHL regulation.
In making it more rigid, we were, it allowed us to be able to thin it out a little bit and not have it become too flimsy. So
in addition to that, we made a slight change here. The strap used to be coming out right here for this to secure this calf wrap. So now it's just simply right here, and you get in a lot faster. We really wanted to make one that's actually going to stay in the pad, and this is one that actually the pros actually use. All the kids use them, and they rave about them, like, oh yeah, finally this one stays in my pant, doesn't get in the way when I go on the butterfly, and it just works.
Also, the no-slip grips on this side of the palm too, so you can get the extra grip where the gray area is when you're playing the puck.
is that carbon fiber, you know, high-end, $300 stick look on the back of the pad in the high wear areas.
Inside we went with the ecstatic to prevent the smell. Mostly, you can't prevent all of it, but it does a pretty good job in the testing that we've done.
But that antimicrobial silver fiber that's in you know, the gloves, we're continuing to add it into more products. The first brand to designate an outer roll section. A lot of guys will even go with red and it looks like goalposts. Ben was pretty creative this year, and you'll see that along the lines of the logo, just like on the pad where the logo is placed, there's a strip, but it's also on the blocker. So that represents that outer roll. So there's a lot of cool designs when we show you the customizer that you can achieve that outer roll look for the first time on the gear compared to all the competitors. So it's really symmetrical, and when you're in your stance, it really looks sharp and really different. So that's what Brian's is built on, is that, you know, Canadian-made quality, and that's how we compete against those Reeboks and everything else, is a product that lasts.